if you want to have transformation, one of the first things that's important is to have a vision that galvanizes and inspires people. Have you ever read through a vision statement of your church or your ministry and you thought, man, this is, okay, it's got some stuff, but it's all about us. It's not about us and the community and what is it that we're going to do? Is there some big goal that's in there, some stretch thing that we can, it stretches the horizon for us. But you want to have a vision that's actually inspiring. There's a concept that says he or she who weighs in, buys in. So that's why you regularly have to look on your team regularly, say, hey, let's have a look at our vision. If we've got a lot of new people, let them weigh in on it. Hey, is this still it? Have we already achieved the vision? Now we need to stretch for the next bit. Some people say, we've already been through this vision stuff. And I say, how long ago? Like 3 years ago. So, great, it's time for you to do it again then. 3 years is a long time. Is it still what you want? Have you achieved any of it yet? So you need to constantly stretch and adapt your vision. Clear vision does wonders for a team, but it also does wonders for a leader. Among its greatest benefits are the direction and passion. For leaders, vision sets direction for their lives. It's like having a roadmap. It prioritizes both action and values, helping leaders remain focused, and it creates passion. It lights a fire within leaders that can spread to others. Andy Stanley, North Point Church in the US, there's a lot of stuff on leadership too. Vision gives significance to the otherwise meaningless details of our lives. Vision brings your world into focus. Vision brings order to chaos. A clear vision enables you to see everything differently. I can tell you now, if there's differing opinions of what the vision is about, then you're in trouble. It's like rocking up to the airport terminal and you're there at the counter and you've come because you're thinking, you know where I'm going. I'm going to, where are you going?
The tropical islands.
Tropical islands. She's got a bikini. She's got her sandals. She's got like a beach towel. She's all ready to shorts and T-shirts. Like she's going somewhere warm, so she rocks up. But then she comes to the counter, and then someone else, they've been planning, and guess what? You decide you're going to Alaska.
No, Antarctica.
Antarctica, excellent, love it. Okay, renegade. I'm not going to say that. Alaska. Okay. So, going to go to Antarctica. So you come up. You got like 3 suitcases just to hold your outside jackets and stuff, and you got all the cold gear. And so it's like in ministry, it's the same thing. Is everyone turns up to come together, but everyone's packed thinking they're going in a different direction. Then you're having a big bun fight right there at the counter and nothing gets happening. But I've already packed. So if you can sort out together and choose together where we're going and have he or she who weighs in. Okay, let's try that again. Look at your notes. He or she who weighs in. He or she who weighs in, buys in. Let's do it again. He or she who weighs in, buys in. Right? Because you've got some skin in the game. You've said, hey, this is where we're going. I've contributed to where we're going. And I'm happy about that. So this is a really good thing to do. The team, lots of new people joining the team, go over the vision together. Hey, guys, this for those of us who have been here, this is where we're going. We want to ask you, are you happy with that? Is there anything that you can add to that? Is there, let's talk. So some definitions. Vision, like the word suggests, it's a clear picture of what we will be that shows that what we value and is large and challenging enough that it will stretch us to the point that we need God's help to achieve it. Don't do safe visions. Do ones where boy, we're going to need God for us to achieve that one. We're going to have 7 ADRA trucks on the road in Bundoora, full blast every day by such and such. Okay, that's a vision, right? Okay, all right. Okay, and we're going to have the most awesome team while we're doing it. A vision is a picture. So visions should have lots of describing words in them. They should be stretching, and you've got to reach out for it. And it's a picture. That's what the word vision is, of where you're going to, what you want to be. that you aren't quite there yet at your current position. And mission is a clear picture of your purpose for why you exist as a church or as an ADRA, or why are we here? And that sometimes is a different thing to the vision. It's similar, it connects, but it's a little bit different. It's the purpose for being here. To help people or to transform people's lives. That might be the mission, but the vision is all these ADRA trucks and it's burning around Bandura. Okay, so that's a bit of a difference there. If the leader doesn't see the vision, the people never will. When have you seen this in your experience? If the leader's not clear on the vision, if you're not clear on the vision, there's going to be a fog in your team. Right? So having clarity of where you're going is really, really important in leadership. And then number one there, here's time to fill in your workbooks. You ready? Got your pencils? Okay, here we go. Number one, what you can see determines what you can be. If you can't see it, you don't even know. If you can't see something, you're never ever going to get there, are you? If you got to see it first. What you can see determines what you can be. People who never see it, they're wanderers. People who see it but never pursue it on their own, they're followers. But people who see it and pursue it, they are achievers. But people who see it, pursue it, and help others see it and pursue it, they're leaders. So circle that last one. That's the one that you want to be. People who see it, you pursue it, and you help others see and pursue that vision, right? So what category would you put yourself into? Are you one of those ones who never see it? You're a wanderer. People who see it but never pursue it, you're a follower. People who see it and pursue it, achievers. Or are you the last one, the leader? Number two, when we're talking about vision, is you see only what you are prepared. Put that in your notes, what you are prepared to see. Did you want a workbook? Okay. So you only see what you're prepared to see. Have you ever seen that? Some people are just not prepared to see certain things. They just won't go there. It's there, but I'm not going to look. Okay? So if you're prepared to see, that's really important. Last night, I told a little story at who was there last night? I know you were. Okay, a few of you. Okay, for the rest of you, there was a bishop by the name of Milton Wright. I'll do it real quick, okay? Just you fall asleep, I'll wake you up when you're finished. Okay, so there was a bishop, and he was visiting a university in the Midwest, and while he was there, they had dinner, and afterwards the professor of this university invited the bishop to come into the parlour while they were having a little bit of a chit-chat. And in the course of the conversation, they were talking about things, and the bishop says, I think everything that's been invented has already been invented. And the professor kind of like, he wasn't quite sure about the bishop's viewpoint on that. And so he said, well, actually, I disagree with you. In fact, I think within 50 years, men will be able to fly. The bishop, fly! You got to be, men flying? You got to be kidding. They're ridiculous. Only angels are supposed to fly. That bishop's name was Milton Wright. And a few years later, his two sons, Orville and Wilbur Wright, were the first ones to fly. They both lived under the same sky, but they had very different horizons. Leadership is about vision and stretching the horizon for the people. How can we stretch our horizon back for the ADRA in Victoria? How can you stretch the horizon for your youth ministry, for your people? Or whatever other ministry, children's ministry, whatever you're engaged in, Pathfinders, how can I stretch that horizon for what's possible for us?
Milton used reverse psychology on his boys.
Yes. Nice try. So, how are you preparing to possess your vision? What unhelpful beliefs are you holding that are limiting your vision? A lot of people start off with all the what, oh, we don't have enough money. They always confine themselves by the present while they're putting their vision together. So, what ends up happening, we have this vision that's so uninspiring, that's so like just right there. You want to get out of that mode. What limiting beliefs are hampering you stretching for a bigger vision? Number 3, the principle about vision is what you see is what you get. Did I just? Yeah, you say only what you're prepared to see. And number 3 is what you see is what you get in your notes. So if you can see it and you can get it, all right? But if you don't see it, you don't even know it's there. You're not even going to go towards it. Leaders understand that you have to believe it to see it. Well, most people go through life saying, I have to see it to believe it. We touched on that briefly last session. Steve Jobs, if you're working on something really exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Is your vision pulling you, or does it just doesn't even do anything for you? Does it speak to your heart at all? If it doesn't, you probably need to change your vision a little bit. How is your vision pulling you into the future of where you're going with your team? If it's not, you might need renewed vision. You might need to relook at it. So becoming a catalyst for change. And there's a great book by John Maxwell and Rob Hoskins. It's called Change Your World. And so this material comes from there. And it's a fantastic book. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are usually the ones who do. They're not worried about what they don't know how it's going to be done. They just got the desire and the passion for seeing it done. Be a catalyst for change. You need to be changed first. I mentioned that a little bit last night. But change begins with caring. I want to make a difference. Change stands up for a cause, doing something that makes a difference. Change spreads from me to we with people who want to make a difference. And change steps forward with urgency at a time that makes a difference. So I want to make a difference, doing something that makes a difference with people who want to make a difference at a time that makes a difference. The small things, what small things have you done that have made a big difference? So there's opportunities, isn't there, in front of us right now to be seized. You might not seize them, someone else will. If you can see it and stretch for it, it's a wonderful thing. People with good intentions. I think that's in your notes to fill in. If not, I made a mistake. But people with good intentions want to add value to others, but find reasons not to do it. But people with good actions want to add value to others and find ways to do it. So if you're going to have a fault, maybe have a fault on good actions. The world's full of people with good intentions. But good intentions, are they any earthly good? Have they ever done anything great for you? Oh, I intended to do that. Yeah, but you didn't. Okay. All right. So, but good actions, man, that changes the world. That transforms the world. So what good actions do you need to take to add value to others? Most people could use possibility therapy. So to which of the following questions might you answer yes? Do I think progress, there's a word for you, do I think progress is possible but not easy? Do you think that? Do I see things as they are but not get discouraged? Am I willing to look away from problems that move me? Am I willing to do what I can to make my world a better place? Okay, so when you look at these questions, which ones might you answer yes? So is there a problem that moves you? Because if there's a problem that moves you, obviously there's a desire God's placed there in your heart, or that it's not letting you let go of it, that it moves you enough. But does it move you enough? Are you going to act on it? Are you going to act on it? And so if you're going to make transformation, at some point you're going to have actions that go in behind the desires. So you can answer some of these questions, but who listens when you talk? Who asks for your advice? Who respects your experience? Who follows your recommendations? Who seeks your opinions? Who enjoys working beside you? Who advocates for you? Who values your time? Who shares positive things about you with others? And who do you add value to? How can you connect with people on your list to share your passion and get their ideas? So maybe you could think through some of those people and go, okay, how can I put them on my list to share my passion? And say, hey, do you want to join me? Come and join me. Let's do this together. We need you. Billionaire philanthropist Bill Austin, we can't change everything, but we can change something. So what is it that God's calling you to change? The question to ask is, what can I change? How do you answer this question? What can you do exceptionally well? What's your A game? What do you do that consistently makes a positive impact? As you read those questions, what come to mind? Do you know with certainty where your focus should be? So if we were to spend some time there thinking about it, and then you would come up with some answers there to some of those questions. So how can you develop a new frame then? To discover a new frame, write down your ideas for the following. What's your gifts? What are your past successes? Where have you been successful in the past? So think about those things. And then your passions. What are you actually passionate about? And then what are your opportunities? See, if you want to be part of be a transformational leader, if you can lean into these things and answer those things and then go, okay, well, where can I place that? Where can I best place my gifts, my past successes and the things I've learned from that, my passions and the opportunities? How can I make all that line up so that I can then get involved in something where I can truly make a transformational difference? So I like that idea that if you're thoughtful about that, you can place yourself in the best possible way to make transformation. Here's the roadmap for transformation. Andy Warhol says they always say that time changes things, but actually you have to change them yourself. We've got improvements today because someone saw a need and they did something about it, and they led a team to do something about it, to achieve it. Everything you look at around you here, there was a leader involved. Someone had a vision for this school, for example, some way back, and then they worked together with a team of people to make it a reality. And look at what they've got today. So phase one is I want to make a difference, right? So what do you want to make a difference in? That's a logical question, okay? And if you think about that, well, where am I going to make the difference? For me, it's in helping people get better through leadership and communication and connection, right? And then through their relationship with God as well. So that's what it is for me. I want to make a difference. And I do that best when I'm doing those things. There's some other things, if you saw me doing them, you'd go, oh, mate, take him off the team, please. Get someone else that's Steve's not very helpful in that area, but I can be helpful in other areas. So if you know where you're really helpful, and then place yourself on teams where you can use those strengths and those passions and those desires to help that team. Does that make sense to you? Right. So there's some things that I do because I know it's not my passion, it's not really my desire, but someone needs to do it. So I'll do it to the best of my ability until someone who is that person can step into it. I do that. But where possible, I try to stick in those areas where I know I can make the greatest transformation. Now, phase 2, doing something that makes a difference. So actually, that's the action part. Where can I put all that together? I want to do it. Now I need to do it. And phase 3, living values that make a difference. So what values do I have while I'm doing this? And then phase 4, at a time when it makes a difference. Because you can have a great idea, but if it's the wrong timing, man, it's not that it's a bad idea. It could be just the timing. Or maybe it is a bad idea, right? But is it a bad idea or is it wrong timing? And most times I've found it's been wrong timing. It's not the idea. God. We pray. Yeah. You ask God to give you wisdom to see. God, is this a bad idea or is it the wrong time? Right? And then you take your cues, what God's laying on your heart or brings to your mind, and you run with that. And I found that, that works really well. So just asking God for wisdom. But if you can bring the right kind of help at the right time, you'd be a world changer. So, what do the people need? What does this team need? What does this church need? What does our community need? How can I step into that? And so for some of you, you will end up doing for your work, you'll be in your passion zone and the vision will just pull you. You won't feel like you're working. Yes, you'll get tired, but you won't feel like it's work. It's what you're made for. Put your hand up if you're in a job that you feel you're not really made for it. Okay? Yeah. There's a few of you. Put your hand up if you're in a job where you're like, I was born for this. Okay. All right. So for those of you, and sometimes too, on the way to getting to where you were born for this, you do through some horrible jobs, okay? Because you've got to have some money to come in. I understand that. But work your way towards where, and if that you're in a position where you know, I'm born for this. That's where you want to be. Life's too short for you not to be. All right? Now, don't blame circumstances and everyone else. We've all got circumstances, but you can say, you know what? I'm going to take charge of my future, because if you don't take charge of your future, someone else will. That's what forced me to make a change. Because really, otherwise you just pull out the victim card. It's my situation. Everyone else is. We've got this this belief that's false that someone else had a better run at life, or they had some more opportunities, or they were smarter, or they were something. No. Often you take responsibility for you, and you take charge of your future. Because if you don't, someone else will. Okay. All right. What phase are you in when you look at that roadmap for transformation? Where are you at? Are you in phase 1, 2, 3, 4? Or are you at the transformation stage? So making your leadership last. Let's lean into that now. A leader's lasting value is measured by succession, right? Because you're only going to be there for so long. None of us live forever. We do. But on this earth, there's a finish point, okay? Unless Jesus comes back before you die. Now, few chief executives and companies today develop strong leaders and mentor them to take over the organisation. It doesn't happen a lot. It's only very few companies that do that. But how can you develop strong leaders and mentor them? You see, leaders who leave a legacy of succession, they lead the organisation with a long view. Leaders who leave a legacy take a different approach. They lead with tomorrow as well as today in mind. Create a leadership culture. The most stable companies have strong leaders at every level of the organisation. So no matter what you're doing, you want to continually develop leaders who can step up and leaders who can lead well. So even if you don't do the training or mentoring, bring people in who can. Expose them to different things so that they can stretch and grow and improve. Because that's what you want in life. You want to improve. You want to be able to make a transformation in the community, in the lives of others. So create a leadership culture. Pay the price today to assure success tomorrow. There is no success without sacrifice. So you're seeing me doing what I love doing now. But what you don't see me doing, when I gave up what I was doing to do something new, you don't see me scrubbing toilets and brown skid marks off throne rooms when I do cleaning jobs to help and in between. You don't see me doing some of those other things that I do behind the scenes to make ends meet. That you have to give up to go up. I'm making sacrifice. I'm paying the price. Okay? And I pay that price because I know it's worth it. And that one day I'm going to continue to fulfill that God-given vision for me and doing what I know that I need to be doing. So yeah, sometimes I'm with CEOs of an ASX-listed company. Sometimes I'm with non-profit organisations. Sometimes I'm with an Adventist young adult because they've got dreams and desires they want to fulfil. Sometimes I'm with some mid-level high flyers in different organisations and companies who are Adventists who want help to develop and grow. And I do that, and I get to experience the joys of their successes. But on the way to there, there's always a price to pay. Are you prepared to pay a price? Because we live in a culture that doesn't want to pay any price. They just want to get on YouTube, make a video and go viral and then suddenly get millions of dollars, right? But the reality is anything worthwhile is always uphill. So be prepared to pay the price. Be prepared to sacrifice for what matters most. Value team leadership above individual leadership. The larger the organisation or the ministry or the group, the stronger, the larger and deeper, there's the other word, deeper the team of leaders needs to be. You have to have a depth of leadership. Otherwise, you're only one leader away from like everything potentially falling apart. And that's not where you've been. Who's been in that situation? I know I have. Lots of times. Not good. Walk away from what you want to do at the end of your time, whether it's your ministry or what you're doing or at your workplace. When you walk away from the organisation, walk away with integrity. When it's a leader's time to leave, in your notes, leave the organisation, they got to be willing to walk away and let their successor do their own thing. So, if you're a project leader for ADRA, say, and you're doing stuff there, and then you've trained up another leader, when you step away, don't go back and start meddling. Go back and say, is there any way I can help you? I'm happy to do whatever you want me to do. Offer a hand. Don't offer to meddle. If you've been there, done that, step away, walk away. And go on and add value somewhere else. If you've done what you can, and then you've given them your best, and now sometimes you might need to go to another place so that you can give them your best as well, because they need it too. So when you think about it, always walk away with integrity. I never burn my bridges on the way out. Ever. Even if they deserve to be dynamited on the way out. Right? Never burn your bridges on the way out. Life has a funny habit of coming around again, and suddenly you bump into someone, and if you're in church particularly, you will bump into them. Okay? Never burn your bridges. Even if they did the worst thing, don't burn your bridges. You want to torch them. You want to scorch them. Don't do it. Hold me back. Lord Jesus, hold me back. All right? But don't do it. Always walk away with integrity. Because you never know, because those people are imperfect and they need to grow too. Okay. Few leaders pass it on. Achievement comes to someone when they're able to do great things for themselves. Success comes when they empower followers to do great things with them. But significance comes when they develop leaders to do great things for them. But a legacy is created only when a person puts their organisation into a position to do great things without them. Do you like that? When it's time for you to step away, are you leaving that organisation to be able to do great things without you? That's real. That's long lasting. That's a legacy. So maybe after this session, if you're going to focus in on that little section, just read that a couple of times so you've got that. So let's talk about a paradigm shift. Every leader eventually leaves their organisation one way or another. One day, Donna, as good as you are, as amazing as you are, you'll have to leave. And if Beck's still there, she's going to cry, right? So, but when it comes time, though, you want to make sure that there's someone there that's just going to go on even do better things than you did even. And you actually want to cheer that on. You want the ones behind you to be even more successful than you were, because what you were doing, the vision really mattered. It was important. The vision is more important than any one of us. One's too small a number for greatness, remember? So the vision has to come first. So personalities and ego and all that has to come secondary to the vision, because that's not going to help the vision. The vision comes first. That's why it's so important to have that vision that is going to make a difference for the King and the kingdom. Chris Musgrove, success is not measured by what you're leaving to, but by what you are leaving behind. What are you leaving behind? That's an important thing, isn't it? What do I want to leave behind? Because if you're clear on that, then you'll know what you need to do before you leave. So let's apply this. Here's how you can create ripples of change. Number one, change from good intentions to good actions. And we mentioned this last night, so those of you there last night, this is just like a repeat for you. So do you want to come up and teach now? Who was there last night? Okay, do you want to teach? Come on up. No, so I'm staying right there. Okay, all right. So change from good intentions to good actions. The smallest deed is greater than the largest intention. Become a possibilist. Now, not a pessimist. A pessimist exaggerates what can't be done. Remember, an optimist exaggerates what can be done, but a possibilist is a realistic optimist. Most people could use some possibility therapy. So if you want to be transformation oriented, you've got to be possibility focused. Acknowledge the problem, get clear on the problem, then move on with possibility. Do not focus on the problem to the point where the problem's the problem, right? But what you're looking for is possibility. Problems are just opportunities for creativity. And if you see them that way, suddenly there's no problem that's a problem. It's just the creative options, and it stretches your creativity. How are you going to fix it? So become a possibilist. Take ownership. Is it really your dream to see change in a particular area? Then take some ownership on it. You have to be passionate about the area you're wanting to make changes in, because only if you own it will you fulfill it. Underline that. Only if you own it will you fulfill it. You've got to take ownership of the vision. Use your past changes as inspiration for future changes. Invite others to join the cause. Focus on what you can do. Philippians 4:13, I can do everything through Christ who gives me what? Strength. What if you believe that? What if we just did not just talk about it, we actually believe that? What would you be doing? Anything. With God, all things are what? Possible. Have you ever thought, again, we'll get back to that thing, if you want to make transformation, stretch that vision for the people. Make it something you're going to need God to intervene to make that thing happen, right? You're going to need a miracle. Do you know what a miracle is? A miracle is the gap between what only you can do and what only God can do. That's the miracle. You do what you can, and then there's this gap where it's only what God can do. That's a miracle. It's a gap between what only you can do and what God can do. So you want to have a vision that's going to need a miracle. Because why? Because then you're on your knees. God, please, I need a team. It's only two of us. God, please help me. Help me to know who to bring on next. God, how are we going to get the money for this? I have no idea. $3 million, God, it's a lot of money. How am I going to get it? Please inspire me, God. Show me who to go to connect me to someone I can share the vision with. You know, that's what you need. You need a vision that requires you to drop to your knees and pray to the Lord about it, right? Because they're exciting. People want to get on board with that. They want to get on board with something that's great. And then you take steps to walk towards it. And then number 7, do something. Deuteronomy 31:8, do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will never fail you nor abandon you. Oh, I love that. Because you do get discouraged along the way. I'm just normal like everybody else. Sometimes I go, are you really an imposter? Can you really do this? Are you really, you have those imposter syndrome moments. Everyone has them. But I know that if God's with me, I'm going to get there. What I'm doing is so important. I know God's placed it on my heart. I'm going to get there because of these promises in Scripture. In summary, the change cycle goes like this for transformation. I experience something so life-changing that I change. And then I share something so life-changing that you change. And then we facilitate something so life-changing that others change. Yes! Are you with me? Yes. Come on. Yes. Let's get that win. Right. I experienced something so life-changing. And then I share that with you. And then you change. And then together we do this. That's how you build a transformational team. Right? Lead teams like that. Stretch people for it. Say, hey, look at the horizon. Look what we can do. Don't be one of those, oh man, we've got a lot. There's a lot of things going on at the moment. Oh, the budget's short. Oh, I've had a few problems. And don't you love those meetings? They're so inspiring. I can't wait to get to the next one. Right. We can make excuses or we can make changes, but we can't do both. We can make excuses or we can make changes, but we can't do both. Okay, let's open up to the floor. 5 minutes and give me some feedback. I want you... Now, when you learn something, you can apply the ACT acronym. ACT. What can I apply from what I just heard? Is there anything? And don't just say, oh, the lot, okay? All right, it's okay. There's a lot that you heard. All right. But what can I apply? Pick something from what I just heard. C, what might I need to change about what I'm currently doing because of what I've just heard? Do you see the difference? What might I need to change because of what I've just heard? And T stands for tell. Who could I tell something from what I've just heard? Who can I tell someone about it so that they get the value from it? Because when you tell somebody something, then it helps bed it down in you. So ACT, apply, change, tell. Okay, I want you to look at your notes and I'm going to give you a couple of moments, and then I'm going to ask you to turn to someone near you, and you can either answer either A or C. What can I apply, or what might you change about what you're currently doing? So what can I apply, or what might I change? Okay, so choose one, whether it's apply or change. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to ask you to share with someone near you. Okay. Who would like to share something they might apply from what they just heard? Is there anything that stood out for you? Might have been a concept. You think, hey, I want to think about how I can bed that in. Something that was said. Yes.
Yeah, so just pondering, our circumstance will present numerous problems and we just slot them into line. But unless that dealing with that problem begins on our knees, we're lost before we even start. So we can't prioritise to move through that problem without starting on our knees. So
I'm actually thinking we need to value what we do. And I think that's part of the problem is we don't. We kind of go, yeah, that's just expected. Oh, yeah, I just do that. But if we don't value what we do, how can we accept the work that God's given us and the purpose He's given us?
That's an important point. If you don't value it, why would anyone else value it? When you show value for what you do, others also see the value in it too. Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
With my teen ministry team, I think we need to do some vision casting. Again, I think our visions are so far apart that, my vision and their vision don't meet, and that causes a lot of issues and heartache in the middle. So, I think we're going to go back and do some vision casting.
That's true, because you can be putting all your heart into it and everything, but if they haven't weighed into it and been a part of the process, then it'll be easier for you to get them on board once they've weighed in on that conversation. So well done. That's exciting. Anyone else? Something that might apply or change? Yes.
Being a possibilist, like a realistic optimist, maybe instead of being a bit more pessimistic, because then my expectations always exceeded, but that's kind of like a boring way of looking at it. So I reckon I'll try and do that.
Yeah, stop playing it safe, right? That's it. And often when we're playing it safe, it means that you'll never grow and stretch. Do you know, when's a rubber band most useful, folks? When's a rubber band most useful? When it's stretched. You don't want to snap it, right? But you need to stretch yourself. Be open to stretching. And you want to feel a little bit stretched. Not snapped, stretched. So try to get that balance. Yes?
Just about every session I've heard today has been included the word vision. And one of the first ones was why, and why we do things. And I think that personally, I've got to address that so I can move forward. Not the what, the why, and the vision.
So the why often leans into our mission. It's why are we doing this? The vision is kind of like, okay, at the end of all that why, what's the picture of what we get to. But yeah, I get your point, what you were saying. Thank you.
This is my role, what I'm doing with Edra, is how is it going to lead those people to the kingdom? That's the ultimate goal, which I think I've not been looking at.
Right. So, and with ADRA, obviously there's some things there about that. But what you do is you model as an ambassador for the King and the Kingdom so well that they say, "Hey, tell me what's behind you," and then you go, "Well, let me tell you about Jesus." Yeah. Anything from you, ladies? Anything you might apply, change, or tell? Yeah. I put them on the spot, so I can come back. I won't put you under pressure. Okay. Anyone else? Last one. One or two? Yep.
I'll stand. So you don't have to see my back of my head. My category 5, as they call it at work. What I got out of it, Steve, was we have sometimes limits with what we think we can do, and we hit walls or boundaries, and then God has the potential, what we can do, and seeing that miracle gap, to realize that that is there, and to lean on God more, and to say, yep, I've hit my limit. Lord, it's now your turn. Take me to that next stage or that next step. I like that.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Well, I think we might thank you, John. Unless someone else is dying to say, look, I can't sleep tonight unless I get this off my chest. Is that you? Is that you three? Yeah, he's going, boy, that was a close call. We just scooted out of that one. Okay. Thank you so much. You've been amazing. I've really enjoyed spending time with you. I know we had to sort of rush through that, but when you only got compressed times, hopefully you can take these things away. And just think about this. It's not how fast I get there, it's how far will I go. So have the attitude of humility and growth. And I tell you what, it's amazing where you'll go and the things that you'll do for the King and the Kingdom. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.